Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Brock the Collector here, and it is that time of year again. Another Marvel Legends wave has come in. Today, we are greeted with Disney Plus Wave 5, I believe. So we got 8 figures to look at here total, including the Build-A-Figure. We have figures from a variety of shows, from literally the first Marvel Studios Disney Plus show to some of the very most recent, as you can see. So we got a nice diverse array of characters to look at here. And you know what? Usually there's a long preamble to these, but we don't got time for that. Let's bust these open and take a look. Let's start with the Goliath, because probably the least can be said about him. Might be helpful to know that this is going to be the last Marvel Legends wave we see with plastic-free packaging. After this wave, I believe it's the Marvel Knights wave that's dropping, and that will be the return of plastic packaging for the Marvel Legends main line. So, that's kind of hot, huh? We're finally going to get plastic boxes back. I personally do prefer the plastic boxes, I can't even lie to you. Let's this guy out here. So, damn. My legs, if you're already looking at my legs, you can tell. Look at how warped my legs are. So this guy has no accessories. This figure has no accessories. He comes with a Hydra Stomper hand, a Hydra Stomper arm, and an interchangeable Hydra Stomper fist. So, besides that, here's the Goliath figure in the most creative pose I can think of. Taking a look at the figure itself, I mean, look. What If Season 2, I'm just going to blanket statement for you right now. I don't know anything about What If Season 2. I ain't seen nothing about it. I know that it's going to involve some sort of plot line with Peggy and the Hydra Stomper, but I feel like mostly everybody who has been looking into it knows that. I've never seen any trailer for it. I know that the SDCC trailer leaked out or something like that. Haven't seen it, don't know nothing about it, but I loved What If Season 1. I'd say that What If might actually be my second or third favorite Marvel Studios Disney Plus show to have come out. I just really love anthology series. I'm a big softie for anthology series, so What If was like a really nice thing. Even with some of the lesser episodes that didn't have like an overarching effect on the story, I really just loved like the whole thing, you know, just taking time with these characters, and the animation style I actually really grew fond of. So yeah, I like this. I like the What If characters. Now this particular figure itself, nothing great. Nothing great. I'm going to keep it alive with you. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. Actually, nothing really that even good. Here's the best thing about it, I'd probably say, is maybe the helmet. The helmet is all new. As you can see there. It's got some nice blues going on the helmet. You can see the eyes through the helmet, so it has like the Ant-Man figures treatment in that regard. So the helmet does seemingly look high quality, and that does look like a, you know, you got different textures going on there. So the helmet is not bad. The torso itself, again, it's hard to really go wrong with you know, a torso. It's really just the body, you know what I'm saying? But it's also, I mean, it's not bad, I guess. This should be accurate to the appearance in the show. The only really show reference I have for this guy is this box art here. So the only thing, I remember when this wave leaked out back in March and we actually saw the images, you know, I didn't really know what this guy would be. I heard some people saying that it would be Goliath. I figured that you know, it does match the color scheme in the comics, that sort of blue and black and white thing going on. But, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the figure that we're presented with here really doesn't provide you with much unless you're like a huge Goliath fan, or you want to, you know, extend out that sort of Ant-Man side of your shelf with this guy. He really doesn't seem to be exclusive to that sort of animated style. This could very much fit into a realistic sort of display because there's nothing here that really draws to animated too much. Maybe the costume is a bit, you know, blank in its sort of interpretation of the design, in terms of like, you know, there's no battle damage or anything like that, but that's not usually like a common thing with Marvel Legends, especially the movie figures. Yeah, it's really just, it's at surface level, this is just what it is. This is the figure. If I was to do anything, I guess we can take a look at some comparisons. So to the left of him there, we got the Quantumania Ant-Man, and to the right, the Quantumania Wasp. So sort of a blue, red, blue, and yellow thing going on, all the primary colors here. This isn't bad. It's not bad. I mean, I just don't know anything about this figure yet. I don't even know if it is Lawrence Fishburne in there. I would have loved for this thing to come with the Lawrence Fishburne head because, as you guys know, I really do love Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second movie. It's actually in my top 10 favorite MCU movies. So I really would have loved to see a Lawrence Fishburne face, even if it would have been in that animated style, but that's not what we were presented with here. I mean, it's not terribly unposable. It's just that, you know, it's not the most posable Marvel Legends body ever. I figured you can get this guy into some cool poses, but perhaps it's going to be take some patience, and it's not going to be anything you can sort of reference off of the show, which kind of handicaps me because a lot of my poses are inspired from the entertainment. All right, now Fury. Nicholas J is who we're going to be taking a look at next. Take a look at that. Yes, sir. So the great Nick Fury, what are we presented with here? It's not the best figure. It's not actually even, compared to modern Marvel Legends standards, it's not even that good, technically speaking. It is on the newer Nick Fury body mold. The newer is the 2019 Captain Marvel Wave Nick Fury body mold, which means that the articulation at the ankles is not as bad as the Chameleon mold, which is always going to be better, you know, so it's not absolutely terrible. But it's really just I think the presentation here. What we were presented with is essentially like a traffic cone of a figure. Now, granted, I know that the Marvel Legends line doesn't like doing plastic coats or plastic capes or anything like that, soft goods. And I mean, would that have been what I would have wanted? Yes, probably. I mean, but is that what I expected? No. But for what it is here, I just feel like this was just not the way to go, man. This is not the way to go because, number one, with the way that they ship in these plastic-free packaging, right? Your cape, or sorry, your coat, your trench coat, is probably going to come warped like mine. As you can see, mine is sort of flat-ish. It just lays flat like that. And also on top of that, you're not really able to get a good view of what's going on down there under the body whenever it's presented like this. So I feel like it's just one of the downsides of the Marvel Legends line when it comes to designs like these. In terms of everything else, in terms of stuff that you can see, the highlight is probably the face here. Head sculpt is pretty good, I'd say. If we take off you can actually remove the beanie, which is cool. And you got not the best Samuel L. Jackson face, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It could use with like a bit of a matte spray because the beard is very shiny. It could use with a bit of a matte spray in that regard, but it's pretty good on the detail. I mean, I guess it's just sort of the resemblance that's not really hitting for me. Okay, there we go. But they got the head shape right. And I really do appreciate the fact that the eye strap, what is it called again? Eye patch. Boom. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's not bad. So in terms of accessories, you got a gun there, one pistol without a silencer, one pistol with the silencer, but these are not a sort of realistic looking pistol. These are more very alien looking. And I mean, we can assume the reason why they do that is because, you know, they don't want to be promoting guns or anything like that, not like how they used to. But then again, at the same time, I don't know. I feel like there's stuff nowadays that does come with guns and stuff that just doesn't, realistic looking weapons. And I feel like this is one of those things where it's in plastic free. So just include the gun and show it on the back instead of the front or something. But he comes with that, 2 firing effects and 2 smoke accessories, which I'm excited to use and interchange with other Marvel Legends guns. But overall, you know, he's just not like, you know, very interesting. If you want a Nick Fury to get up on your shelf, this is a good one to get, because I don't think that Infinity Saga one that was rumored last year is happening, unless it's some sort of exclusive of some kind. But then again, don't expect to be impressed or surprised with this figure, because it is a very simplistic, just Nick Fury figure on the 2019 Nick Fury body mold with a plastic trench coat. You're not going to get the best articulation out of this guy, but if you want a Nick Fury with an eye patch to stand there on your shelf looking menacing, I guess, then you can have this one. I was kind of expecting for the Secret Invasion version to have no eye patch, and for the Infinity Saga version to come with the eye patch, but I guess since we're not getting the Infinity Saga version, but it would have still been nice to have this one have 2 interchangeable heads. So yeah, there he is next to his girl Captain Marvel, and that does not look bad at all. Not bad at all. I like that. I feel like displaying him with the Marvels figures is going to be a good way to go, actually, because he will make an appearance in the Marvels movie, which I am very much looking forward to. You know, I love my boy Samuel L. Secret Invasion I actually really enjoyed for most of it, and then at the end I thought that it fell flat on its face. But the next character we're going to be taking a look at is actually really exciting, because Secret Invasion made him one of my absolute favorites, and then they took him away from me. Okay, he comes with the this is the right leg, right? Or the left leg. I think that this is the left leg, because that thigh armor bends inward like that. But that kind of looks like the right leg, though. Oh, it's the left leg, really? Huh, that's weird. But yeah, it comes with the left leg. So let's take a look at Talos, and then we can take a look at these three together with Talos. That boy Talos. That boy Talos. If you had asked me to come up with a top 10 favorite MCU characters list, as of this year, Talos would definitely be on it. Like, I freaking... Secret Invasion. Now, Ben Mendelsohn is probably in one of my top 10 favorite actors, like, out there. Like, I really just... I love his range. I love his roles. I love his performances. And in Secret Invasion, he was really bringing, like, his all. I feel like in the Captain Marvel movie, I liked him, but I don't feel like he really got to express as much of himself as we got to see in the Secret Invasion TV show. And even in Far From Home, like, he was just very charismatic in that post-credit scene. I like Talos, man. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. So, to see him in the Secret Invasion TV show be more of himself, and even during the times, like, going through, like, he just... Man, Talos was just him, man. Like, I was really loving him. I was really loving the character, and I couldn't wait to see more of him. Gosh. Anyways, yeah, this boy Talos here is very nice looking, well-rounded action figure. We got reused here from the Hawkeye figure in terms of the legs. The legs are reused from Hawkeye even down to the boots, but it does execute that sort of Talos look. We can see the Ben Mendelsohn head sculpt up here looking very good. There's one thing about the head sculpt that we'll actually get to in a second. It's unique in a certain way. The arms here, pinless arms, these sort of look like the ones that came with, what do you call it? What is his name? Jimmy Woo. It's crazy to think that we have a Jimmy Woo figure, man. It's crazy. But look at that. That's pretty freaking good range. It's probably one of the best ones on males that you're going to get out there in terms of the Marvel Legends line. Look at that. He's rocking like a very cop, FBI, you know, agent sort of vibe going on here. A very undercover cop sort of thing, like very Chase McCain-esque. And we got a very nice looking head sculpt there. I don't know if it looks as good as it did in the promotional pictures to me. Like, I don't know if it looks as good in real life here as it did in the promotional pics. But if I take that off, look at how the heads interchange. So the ball peg at the neck, but the head has, as you can see here, the head is one full piece with the neck. Or there is no double ball peg right there. This is all at the articulation that you get. Why they decided to do this, I literally have no idea. I can understand you wanting to make the necks interchangeable, right? But then just do something like how you did with the Tony Stark figure. Like how you made the necks interchangeable, but you also made the heads interchangeable, because I was really looking forward to having the Talos head being able to pop on to the previous version. But in terms of aesthetics, looks, design, man, this executes Talos from the Secret Invasion show almost perfectly. Look at that head sculpt, man. Gosh. It's just freaking ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. Look at that. Now, again, this is probably not the most imaginative action figure, because there's not going to be much that you can actually really do with this guy. He's just going to sit there and be Talos up on the shelf. But at the same time, like, this is freaking awesome. Let's get him with one of Nick Fury's pistols. Man, I freaking love Talos, dog. I loved him. He was really good. Like, even in the Captain Marvel movie, when he got shot, like, I'm sitting there like, nah, not already. I thought that it was a crazy twist for the Kree to actually be, like, the sort of bad guys, the quasi-bad guys, and for the Skrulls to be, like, just refugees who are being hunted down by this elite race of aliens. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So now let's take a look at him next to Fury. As you can see there, very appropriate height difference, I think. Maybe Ben Mendelsohn is a little bit shorter than that, but I think that that's right. And then Captain Marvel. Yeah, I'm liking this. And if you want to compare it next to the old Talos, let me go grab that right quickly. So you can see stark difference in, of course, the coloring. Coloring on the newer version is a lot more accurate. Head sculpt looks a lot better. Overall, better rounded scroll. So, yeah, I'd say this new Talos is one of the best figures in the wave. I'm really loving this. Hell yeah, boy. From seeing the poster of What If Season 2, or of What If Season 1, I already knew with this and the Captain Carter figure, this figure, the Captain Carter figure, and the Infinity Ultron figure were going to be 3 must-haves. The fact that we have all 3 in the Marvel Legends line at this point, man, really gorgeous, dog. A gorgeous figure. Gorgeous. I'm telling you. From the greens to the way that the golds interact, like the contrast there, the design of the figure, the sculpt, the detailing, it's really freaking amazing. There is stuff about it that I'll admit is probably not the greatest, and we will get to that in a moment. But for now, let's just take a minute to appreciate the aesthetics of the Warrior Gamora costume. Now, I called it Gamora Thanos. That's what I used to call it. I'll probably still call it that moving forward. But I mean, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. All right, so moving into the intricacies. So number one, let's start with the head sculpt. The head sculpt is a bit small. It is a bit small, I think, but the armor is also quite large and it has large shoulder pads, so those can misconstrue. But overall, in the detailing of the face, it's almost perfect. Like, the face sculpt itself is amazing. It really looks like both Gamora, but also it does have this sort of lighter coloring that is more in accordance with the animated style. The one issue I have with the head sculpt is the hair. Because of the nature of the hair, of course, it's going to sort of bend and swiggle like this. It doesn't usually rest very naturally. So you're always going to have something like this going on where it's like almost, it doesn't necessarily look like it's blowing in the wind, but it just won't sit flat. So that's just, you're just going to have to deal with that. I mean, in front forward looking, it doesn't look that bad, but in terms of like trying to get it into any poses like this, you're always going to have something like that going on. I mean, it's just the nature of Marvel Legends hair. They've never ever done rooted hair. The detailing on the tattoos on the face is really nice. Moving down into the body. Now, I will say that this gold looks more realistic than I would have anticipated it being. I would have placed the figure as being more of like a brighter gold, maybe even closer to a yellow based on the animation style. But we are presented with an actual very sort of realistic looking gold. They made it match the sword here. I think the best comparison I could have for what I was expecting is maybe like in the Lego figure. I'm liking this because the green still contrasts well. And really overall you got really nice detailing and nice sculpt there. It would have been interesting to see what this would have looked like panel lined, because of course the animation and style in the show doesn't really have many shadows. It's more panel lining that you're actually seeing because they do paint in those grooves there. But they are all sculpted there for you. Moving around to the back, you can see very nice interpretation of the costume there. Nice references used, nice paint going on here. Articulation on this figure is not bad. Got good diaphragm movement, everything like that. You can have looking. She can't look up far because she does have the single hinged neck, which they do seem to be bringing back. I think that the double ball peg. It would be nice to see this one with the double ball peg because, again, as I usually say, the double ball peg allows you to get more attitude out of the actual head positions that you put her into. But that is fine there. And then moving down into the legs is very nice. You can get some very good stuff going on there. Man, I love this. Look at this. This is hot. The seamless way that the double jointed legs just transition there. You guys see that? Look at that. They knocked it out of the park with this figure, man. The one thing I will say is this figure is quite tall. It's taller than it should be. Like, if we were to compare it to like the Goliath here, she's about the same height as that. But if I was to take another Gamora figure, you would see that it's quite a bit taller than the rest of them. Like, to compare it to a really tall lady, let's compare it to an actual giant here. She-Hulk, which is probably the tallest lady I can think of up on the shelf right now. You can see that they're not, she's not calling her little sister or nothing like that. Like, these two can go hand to hand. And, I just feel like the height there is a bit crazy. But, yeah, man, I love this one, man. So let's take a look at her with some other figures. We got Goliath here. I'll actually put her up onto the what if section so that you can see better. But for now, I'll do Goliath and I'll do Ant-Man. Look at that. I'm so happy that we finally have her. Look at that. She's there, man. She's there. Don't sing the song. If you sing it, you're corny. Not a bad presentation. The highlight of this figure is going to be the face. With this Agatha figure, the face is the outstanding part. In terms of everything else, I can literally just show you this figure and then be done, because articulation is manimal. You're only going to get her arms to move up. Actually, that's higher than I thought. That's enough to sort of evoke a nice magic pose. But then again, you also got these little drapes here that's always going to look a little bit unnatural, I suppose. But then again, she did have her sort of cloth and fabric sort of like dancing in the show and everything like that. It didn't really obey the laws of gravity, so to speak. So you can sort of have that going on there and not have anybody question it. Again, the sculpt is very nice. The sculpt on this figure is, you know, it's probably one of the benefits that Hasbro Marvel Legends has always brought. A very nice sculpt, even back in the Toy Biz days and eras. So, yeah, very nice there. Very nice sculpt, texturing, etc., etc. All the boring stuff I usually say. To give you a close-up on the tester, you can see she got a little pendant going around there, man. It's really good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It really is. Again, single hinge on the neck. I really feel like they're bringing that back. I really do love the double ball peg, but I mean on every figure except for Spider-Man, of course, but man. But yeah. Good sculpting going on here. This has been a highly requested one, so there she is. But really, after I show you the head sculpt, there's really nothing else here to show you guys. I don't have the Multiverse of Madness Wanda, so we can't compare her to that, but we will put her up onto the WandaVision side, and we'll compare her with some other WandaVision characters for you guys to see. But overall, this Agatha is really nice. I like this. I like this. That's good. Got dirty fingers from holding the Darkhold. No accessories come with her. I thought that she came with some pink or purple effects, but I think I was wrong, just misremembering that. But, of course, if you get that Multiverse of Madness Wanda, you will be able to put those accessories around her. And she's also quite short. Let's compare her next to something like Nick Fury. Look at that. She's not that tall at all. Could have sworn that Catherine Hahn is taller than that. But yeah, not bad. Amazing head sculpt. So, Miss Belova here. Not a bad figure, again, just like all the others. Not necessarily a bad figure, just presentation can be, you know, a bit off. But I mean, honestly, even presentation-wise, I'd say that this is one of the more acceptable in the wave. The torso is new. This is, of course, based off of the Hawkeye design. I know that quite a lot of people were asking for this, and it's very nice to have. The torso is new. The arms may be reused from the last version. I couldn't tell you. They seem to have a good amount of range. I don't remember the last one having this much range. Because that's like single joint, but that's way more than 45, as you can see, or 90, excuse me. And then down here we got the double jointed legs. These have to be from the last version, though. I feel like these got to be from the last version. Pinned there, of course, but then again, it wouldn't really make too much sense to use a whole new pinless body for this Yelena Belova. Where this figure really shines is in the head sculpt, though. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful head sculpt. I would have loved to see the goggles version, because I even feel like that would have been something cool to army build if you wanted to. But we really just got the sort of just basic bloke widow head going on there, which I can appreciate. This is not bad. I really enjoyed her in the Hawkeye show, if I'm being honest. I really have enjoyed Yelena in all of her roles. I really do like Yelena in both the Hawkeye show and, of course, what do you call it? Black Widow. So, yeah. She doesn't come with any guns. She just comes with the basic batons that most of the other Black Widows come with, and some fists, some teeny tiny fists. But I'm trying to put her with these Nick Fury guns and see what we got going on here, because she's a Black Widow, man. She's supposed to have guns. And yeah, this is not bad. They fit into the hands. If anything, just a bit small. It would be nice if she even had her very old looking pistols that the other Widows came with. Like, those had realistic looking guns. What just happened to those? I'd even take those over this, but yeah, look at that. But this is a really nice Florence Pugh head sculpt, man. Like, are y'all seeing that? Coming around to the back. Not too much going on with this one. Not too much reason to spend too much time on her, but this one is one that you can get in some really nice poses if you wanted to, because she doesn't have the wide joint at the legs like the last one. Those legs do come up regular. Nice looking torso, nice looking sculpt there. Paint continues up until under the ab crunch so that you don't have a random cut in the paint there. I mean, overall, really nice presentation on this one's behalf. I like this one. And if you're a Hawkeye fan, I mean, I feel like you should get this one. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's just cool. One thing I will say is that the Florence Pugh head sculpt makes the Kate Bishop head sculpt look a bit softer. And, you know, just not as realistic. Because, I mean, look at that. Look at how good that looks compared to that. But, I mean, yeah, look at that. Look at those two ladies. I know I've been saying look at that a lot. I'm tired. But, I mean, let me not say look at that again. That's just awesome. Probably everybody's most anticipated from the wave. Let's take a look at this Kingpin. So, here it is. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, as seen in the Hawkeye television series. So, not a bad figure here. The biggest point of contention on this figure was seeing the promotional images and seeing it presented as how it appeared to be on the Happy body mold. And, you know, Vincent D'Onofrio is a big dude, about 6'4". So, you know, the Happy body mold, would it have been sufficient in order to have this figure standing next to other characters? The answer, I personally think, is probably not. It's a little tiny. Like, if you're really looking at it and you really want to compare the sizes, Vincent D'Onofrio should be quite a bit bigger than Talos here. Yet, he's about the same size. If we want to take another size comparison. So, I don't know. It's not that the figure is tiny. It's just that, as you can see, it's clearly not as big as it should be. The Kingpin is a big dude. Vincent D'Onofrio is a big man. So to have it sort of like this, it's not portraying him to be tiny at all. I would say that it services what it's supposed to do, but it would have been nice to see an all-new body mold for this Kingpin, man. But in terms of everything else that we got here, again, it's a very nice, all-encompassing representation of Kingpin. It's nothing too exclusive or esoteric like the Hawaii suit. It's just a very nice Kingpin interpretation here, you know? So we got good stuff going on. In terms of, like, the legs here, you can see nice purple going on at the legs. Very simplistic. 3 colors going on, black, purple, and white, but they are all very bold in their own rights. The head sculpt itself, very Vincent D'Onofrio looking. Not the best head sculpt that they've ever done, but pretty good. Maybe if you hit it with the matte spray, it might come out a bit better. But that's not bad at all. In terms of accessories, he just got his cane here, which is very nice and detailed. You can see we got little gold trim around there that lead up to the diamond there. And then he has some interchangeable hands. I think he has a fist for both hands. So if you want to get him fisticuffs, and for it to be Vincent D'Onofrio itself and have it fit into the Marvel movie shelf in context, it's really cool. Not necessarily an acrobatic dude, but not necessarily a sluggish one either. You can definitely get him into some good brawling poses if you really wanted to. But say that he was punching the hell out of Goliath, like you can sort of get something like that going on. So I mean, it's a fun figure. It will be fun to pose and mess around with, and I am looking forward to seeing all the ACBA that people will get of this guy, and of course the variety of other characters that you can place him next to. Like, for example, that Spider-Man 3-pack, having this dude fighting them, all 3 of them at the same time, that would be beast. That would be beast. Look at that. And I like that we're filling out sort of a Spider-Man Rogues gallery in the MCU form. But yeah, not a bad Kingpin. So you see, I feel like Kingpin should have been somewhere in between here and here when it comes to height. But we were presented with what we were presented with. So, I mean, honestly, it's still a really nice Kingpin figure, but yeah, take a look at that. All right, but let's move on to Hydra Stomper next. So this is the Build-A-Figure of the wave. And was it the best choice? No, I've said this before. I personally feel like, you know, with the array of characters that we have, even in the Disney Plus realm alone, and the amount of good stuff we got going on there, that doing another Hydra Stomper was kind of handicapping yourselves in possibility, especially when we have so many other characters like Abomination or any other array of what-if figures that are larger that could suffice this role. Now, what we do have here is not bad. It is actually, I'm surprised that it's literally a whole new sculpt compared to the other one. Like, all of this is different. Number one, it's a lot tinier than the last one. It is quite a bit smaller. If we take a look at the last one, which I will show you guys next to, it's too hard to get from here, but I will try to show it next to you guys. You can see that the last one, oh, forgot to attach the jetpack. You'll be able to see that the last one is quite a bit larger, but this one also does have more posability, flexibility, dynamicism in terms of what you can get going on with it. You can probably get a lot more unique poses going on with this one. The head articulation is not everything that it could be. Yeah, it's not bad. It's silver. It's nice and silver. You know what I see? It's nice gray. It's very interesting looking. Again, I do like mechs. I do like mech designs. But this guy it's just shocking to me that we have this guy before somebody like an Abomination. Because like that's a sorely needed one. It's not a bad Build-A-Figure, but there just isn't too much to say. Where is Steve Rogers here? So it does come with a unmasked Steve Rogers head. I like it. And I like seeing his little teeny tiny head inside of that big freaking mech suit. Look at that. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. If I was to compare it to something like I would love to see this thing next to the Mark II. But of course we don't have that. So I'll compare it next to a standard Iron Man. Let's do, well, first of all, let's do a regular sort of figure. So there he is, next to a regular figure, so you can sort of see that. I'll compare it next to the Mark III, because the Mark III is the easiest, most accessible, and probably the most well-rounded Iron Man we have in the line as of this point. Pretty freaking good. You can see the figure is not massively ginormous, it's just big. Just a little big figure. But you know what? This thing is dragging on a bit long. Let's get these guys up onto the shelf, preliminary poses, so I can show you next to some other characters and see how they look. So here you go. Quite a stark contrast. No pun intended. Hydra Stomper next to his little teenage son there. Not bad. Not bad looking. Honestly, I'm really liking this figure actually for some reason. I'm really liking it. But okay, let's actually see how these guys look up onto the shelf. I'm going to put all of them up here for you and get a glimpse of it. One more fun comparison. Let's get the Steve Rogers next to the Destroyer. Look at that. Two huge silvery mechs. Woo. So I know that the arrangement and spacing here really doesn't make any sense. But hey, look, as always, these are very preliminary poses. I'm probably going to have to sleep on it and allow for a more rested mind to prevail at the posing around each other and everything like that. But as for now, I'd say that this wave, look, there's some really cool stuff in it. There's some really lame stuff in it. It's not one of the stronger Disney Plus waves. The mainstay of this wave is some of the character selection and the head sculpts going on here. Some of the very best we have in the Marvel Legends line in the modern era. But the designs, and I feel like the design and execution of the figures is not representative of Marvel Legends in 2023, I personally feel like. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the new in this wave, especially for characters like Kingpin and, you know, stuff like that we've been waiting for a while. Then you have other figures over here like Agatha who were executed pretty well, but then hindered by their own design in terms of the show aspects and stuff like that. The costume design itself, there was just no way it was going to translate into Marvel Legends in a form that was going to be very playable and fun. Same thing goes for the Secret Invasion Nick Fury. You know, it's not very playable and articulated in the form that it comes in an action figure form because of the limitations of the Marvel Legends line. The Talos is about everything that it needs to be, and it's a very nice Marvel Legends figure to have. Definitely an upgrade over the last version. But the What If Season 2 figures like Goliath and the Hydra Stomper will always have sort of just a looming question mark over them until we see the Season 2 premiere. But for right now, especially for the Build-A-Figure Hydra Stomper, which you can see I just squeezed into any space where I had room, just feels like kind of a waste because of the other figures that we still need that could have very easily been Build-A-Figures in the, you know, sort of Disney Plus line whole sort of thing. But again, there is no, Marvel Legends isn't stopping anytime soon. There will be plenty of other opportunities to get these characters that we are looking forward to. And overall, I feel like this wave, while not the best, could have turned out quite a bit worse. So scale of 1 to 10, I'd give the Hydra Stomper here, I'm really enjoying it. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'd give the Goliath a 3 out of 10. I'd give Gamora a 8.5. I'll give her an 8.5. I'll give Talos an 8. I'll give Nick Fury a 7, 6.5. I'll give Agatha a 7 out of 10. I'll give Kingpin a 7.5. And I will give Yelena Belova a 7.5. Overall, not a bad wave. And I feel like if you're a fan of Disney Plus TV shows, fan of Marvel Studios, you want to expand your MCU figure shelf, pick up the figures from this wave. Not bad at all, and some very nice additions to the shelf. My personal favorite being this Gamora here. You guys know how much I've wanted this, and now look at these three. Beautiful. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Always remember to be the best, and I will catch you all on the next one. Later.